To explain how I understand God, let me start with this question. Let's say there's a bucket of clay. A person takes a handful of the clay and molds things like people, animals, trees, and etc. In this picture, who would you say God is? Is God the bucket of clay? Or is God the person molding things? Or is it the shapes? Most people think that God is the person molding the clay. They think that God is this big being, the big creator who dictates what is to be created and what is to be destroyed. But I think a more accurate way to think about God is that God is all three. God is the bucket of clay, the molder, and the clay shapes. The bucket of clay is the source. In the Bible, it is called the Father. It is pure creative energy, the ultimate potential energy, the beginning and the end, the origin where all creations come from. The molder is the divine will, or the Holy Spirit. It's the divine intelligence that conceives and wills things into shapes and into creation. And the clay shapes are the embodiment of source, or the divine expression, or the sun, as the Bible puts it. It's the physical representation of source. And all is God. Some say that God is outside of us, specifically a being that's sitting up in heaven looking down on us. And some say that God is inside of us, this tiny little thing that sits on our conscience and guilts us into doing things. But I don't see it that way. How I see it is we exist inside of God. We are God embodied. But the outside of us is God too. The air is God. The space we're in is God. The field of energy is God. The trees, buildings, water, the whole thing inside and outside is all God. And we're all existing inside of God. And because we exist inside of God, we are in the image of God, embodying the Trinity I just talked about. That is, we have a soul, the source, we have a mind, the divine will, and we have a body, the divine expression. And so all is being expressed in this Holy Trinity. I like the way Greg Braden put it. He says that the universe is a holographic system in that all the pieces that make up the universe all individually hold the information of the whole universe. So what he's saying is the whole cosmos is literally in all of us and is reflected in the tiniest of matter to the largest. And he also said something that absolutely blew my mind in complete shock. He said that when scientists decoded our DNA, they found that it spelled out Yahweh, the Hebrew word for God. This means our very cells are telling us that we are God expressed. I mean, that is completely crazy. And it's not only humans that are created in this Holy Trinity. The trees, the air, the water, everything has a spirit, a will, a physical body. The table you're on, the couch you're sitting on, the plants on your bookshelf, everything has incredible depth and aliveness. The more awakened you become, the more you start to understand that everything is God expressed. Everything is a sacred existence in its own right. And the good and the bad that we see are mere constructs of the mind that creates the illusion of separation, when really we are all one in God. Anyway, I'm curious to know how you see and understand who or what God is. I believe everyone has a small piece of the truth, and we are all here to share our piece so that we can collectively see the whole picture. So how I understand God is just the small piece that I see. And so your understanding of God is a very important contribution to the whole truth. So please comment down below on your understanding of God. Thank you for joining me in this discussion, and I hope you grant me the pleasure of connecting with you once again in my next video. Regards, Ray.
Oh no. Thank you.